Alright, guys. What's going on? Uter's already here. Of course he is. He's always first. Alright, so we're gonna be playing the Stanley Parable. I think that's how you pronounce it. I played this once before, and it is another mind F of a game. Just like the last one I played, except not in a trippy sense. It's just funny and weird. You'll see. So let's just get started. My wife tells me that as well, lol. Oh, wow. Nice. Real smooth there, buddy. So without further ado, let's do this. Turn that down a bit. Should be good, right? You have played it? Yeah. I only played it like a little bit, so I don't even remember the choices or anything. Yeah, I know that much. As long as you don't do the same thing again and again. That's cheating, Hooter. You can't do that.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427
Still
and
cheating.
he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I'm just gonna go ahead and be that guy and not follow his instructions.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Just to admire it. Okay, why is there... whatever.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Nope.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Loser. What do you want, Arky?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Take the door. Too late, man. I don't remember. Do you have to hit a button, or you just walk on it? I guess you
Look,
just walk on
Stanley,
it.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Can't you jump down there?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
I'll do that next time as well.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Fly in here. I don't remember this at all.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone,
I didn't know you could do that.
Light engulfed him, filling him not
I
just
really
with
didn't.
radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
I really
No,
didn't.
that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Oh god.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
Never seen
But if
this.
used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
The fuck?
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Alright, how else can we screw this up? Oh, I hate that. Can we open this yet? Oh, damn.
Now that we know your choices
Oh,
are
come
meaningful,
on.
we can't
They
have
put
you
gates.
jumping off the platform and dying.
I should have jumped
Imagine
before.
the main character dying senselessly halfway
I
through
can't
the story.
see.
That story would make no sense at all.
And I can't jump.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Yeah. Come on, I want to kill myself. Please be open. Damn. That's different. I haven't seen a keycard one before. Maybe there's like an Easter egg. Don't close. Fuck.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the
Oh,
real
shit.
world.
Sorry, guys. Come on. Shitty camera. Shut up, Odor. It's not even mounted on my monitor. It's literally just sitting on top. So I went to wipe something off real quick and I forgot. Completely forgot. Door on the left, huh? No, that's not creepy.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Gee, what am I gonna do?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Fuck. What the? Oh, this is great. Damn. Let me try again. Anything? No. Why does it do that?
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
No.
I have to. I have to.
No. Shit. Trippy. What?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You.
I see, I'm not the
who
only
thought
one
you
who
were
reads
so
shit in the
clever.
wall in the gate.
Now look where we are.
Absolutely.
My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? that there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
What the?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
What should we do?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yep. You're right, Hooter.
No! Why did you do that?
Oh.
Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure
This is
you'll
epic.
be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley
What
came
should
to
we
a
do?
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
It's just going to do the same
Why
thing
did you
and
do
repeat,
that?
probably.
Quickly,
Yeah.
hurry.
Alright. Enough effing
Behave
around.
exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Damn. Oops. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his
Already read
boss's
that.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Sorry, I had a text. Beside you. Make sure you slide just like. Everyone is unique. So that's cute. Number of slides on this slide. What is the purpose of that? Rate of which charts the same slide to pick the same information. Whoever wrote this is a genius. Rate of increasing graphs per slide. Please no more, I'm begging. Yeah, dude, it's worth it. I'm not doing that. What the hell? That was my mouse, okay. If you find yourself in a conflict. Your what are your dreams of the future? Plant life? Oh, what is that? Less air? Tips for getting fired? Everyday nooks. This is what I want to read. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Alright, let's keep going. It says broom closet. I want to go in. Not me.
Coming to a staircase,
Damn.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, because I can't. Okay, I remember this slightly. Must have been like a year and a half ago when I played this last. Nope. Hey, look, it's a picture of me.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability,
What a glitch.
he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
There's gotta be something else for me to do here. Hey, Vulcan. Yo, you missed some trippy shit already.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I think I'm just gonna try to wait it out. Unless I get really bored. Or if you guys want me to keep going.
Is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices.
Way to go, Volk.
He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. Stanley came to a set of two open doors. He entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please.
Cool, you get to see Stanley.
I need you to make a choice.
What?
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
Is that really the end?
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do.
That's really the end.
Take that step forward, please. Choose.
Want me to just exit out?
Anything. This is more important than you can ever know.
Yeah, I know there's a few endings, but I wasn't sure. I've never had this one.
So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait it.
It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll
Gotcha, Uter.
decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Yeah, probably, Oh. I didn't do nothing. Look at that. Game started again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna jump off the platform this time.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, I do remember doing it once, but I don't remember actually what happened.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
That's new.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oops.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Don't fuck this
There's
up.
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red's my favorite color. What do I do? But I am an asshole. But it is red. But I am an asshole. Yep. Lou, I agree.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, sweet.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Yeah, I've been here.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Oh my god.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Hurry up, chat. Help me out here. I mean, this will piss him off more, but this looks interesting. Orange. Alright. Why is it wooden?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Scale 1 to 10, 5 being good or bad? It's like #1 greatest experience ever, or what? Knowing this game, probably each one... Yeah, probably each one is different, but you're right, I was gonna do 1.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
420. There's no 0, Ooter. Dear God. I wonder if these are even real. Let me guess, I'm gonna be on the bottom. Why doesn't it have my name? That's weird. I guess it's not real. I'm gonna go back here.
Now, would you say that
What?
competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Yep.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Perfect. As if I get a say in the matter.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
You know what I'm gonna do.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single
Secret
thing that might
achievement?
improve the experience for me.
Alright.
I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Ooter,
Yes,
you sick
this seems
fuck.
like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
You sick fuck, man.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough?
I can't
Tell
jump,
me
so.
that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch
Baby
this,
back
Stanley.
ribs.
I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes.
Ah, I wish I'd gotten in there first.
Complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Ah, there you go. Doesn't really look like I have a choice. I mean, knowing this game, if I wait it out, shoot, that'd probably be a thing, but I mean, I'm streaming, so fuck it.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
I thought you said dynamite. I could have sworn. I'm retarded. I don't want to drop down there. Looks like I have to. Yep.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No way I can get over there, huh? This has got to be like some sort of copyright infringement. Even has some music. I haven't played Minecraft in a while either.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Oh shit. Did you guys hear that? Oh no. Oh, okay. Really? Portal? You gotta be kidding me.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box.
The
with
original
no way
Portal.
out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't
I
have done
remember
it
when
any
this came
better
out,
myself.
man.
What
Cake
is
is a
this game
lie.
supposed
Der
to be?
Kuchen ist eine
I can't
Lüge.
figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find
Yes!
out what the
Wait,
hell
wait, wait.
this is.
Oh, damn it. The pod's already closed. I forget. How do you... Oh, I dropped it. I can't get it. I forget where the secret message is hidden. No.
Oh,
They're both good.
it's a
Portal 2 was
puzzle.
better because, you know,
Critical thinking,
10 times
Stanley.
larger.
Your forte.
Gee, what do I have to do?
Genius.
Oops. Co-op? Yeah, that was fun. Atlas and Peabody.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game,
Oh, you know I
can
can
just
go
sit
down there.
and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need
I just wanna
your
listen.
advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work, and I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Yeehaw! Now this looks like Portal. Broken. Okay, that's an edge. Can barely see it. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to jump off. Fuck it. Right. My video game logic and experience has always told me when in doubt, go left. Go left. And you can't. Look at that. I'm wrong. Can I now? Yes, I can. Sort of. I always go right because men are always right. Dude! I almost read that out loud. Four 23. 24. Sorry, no 420. Wait, what was in there? Can't zoom in. That's why Beyonce says to the left. Is the door gonna close? No. Oh. I'm typing. Alright then. Nope. Great.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it.
Hey,
You'll understand soon what I was trying
what's
to
going
tell
on,
him.
man?
He needs me.
Thanks for stopping
Someone
by.
who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
Oh, dude,
The end
appreciate
will
it.
be here
I really do.
very
It's awesome
soon.
of you, man. Thanks.
I
I
can
gave a
wait.
like to Ambiguous. I don't know his name, but whatever on that stream. I dropped one too, so it's all good. Thanks.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The only open door. Oh God.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yep.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
We can take the
left.
red door this time. No more blue pill.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
Oh.
ago.
Well, sorry, Rooter. I already decided to go this way, and then your chat popped up.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten
No.
off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been
Yeah, but
about
still.
nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration
Wonder if
for
you can
others?
get down
Are
there.
you that convinced
That
that I
door's
want
open.
something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Stuck on something.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Well, I'll go through the red door eventually.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Twirling baton lessons? No, I literally have been doing this my whole life. And in high school, like the first day there, I saw a kid go like this. And I made it my goal to figure that out. So literally, just for a solid week, I was like, did shit, you know. But nope, figured it out. And this is actually pretty slow for me, because on some days I can't go as fast as I want, but... Nope. See? Whatever. There's a bunch of other
I still
things
don't
I can
think
do
we're
that's pretty
communicating
badass, but
properly.
they involve
Stanley
knives and
walked
scissors, and I
through
can't do
the
that on
red
stream.
door.
I'll send you a
Well,
video
thank
later
God
if you
you
want.
are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and
Hey,
running and
Buzz.
running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing me, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
I just did a 360. The knife game? I have on my fingers. Gets dark. Yep, very dark. Now you got me doing it more, thanks.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
No, it's just a wall. Okay, there's 2 dots. That got a lot closer. That's creepy. Yeah. You know what, Uter? Don't. I mean, I love blood and all, but I can imagine that's not the greatest.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Fuck this, it's annoying.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Send them anyway. Oh, no gash or anything, just stab marks. So you don't do it hardcore, like...
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Quit distracting me, man. I'm actually interested in this. I've never gotten here before.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Once. Now you don't have any fingers to play with. Oh shit. That's what he meant by don't go up the stairs.
Please, Stanley.
Banzai!
Oh,
Damn it.
thank God. You lived. You have me worried. No. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Same thing, I bet.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Nope.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to
Alright,
get rid of
Buzz.
it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Man, everyone's leaving. Come on.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Come on, die.
Is
There
it-
we go.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Can't read that stuff. Too far away. Yes! Yes, it opened.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nope. Nope. Staying in the broom closet.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I love this game.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Come on.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Concerning.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Wow.
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
The fuck is this game turning into?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
What's up, Booter?
All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I wonder if there's more. There probably isn't. Yeah, I'm too impatient. Let's keep going.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase,
There wasn't
Stanley
down.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It wasn't down before. Yeah, boy, I like this. Ooh.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone
Oh,
had
you've taken this
vanished.
one? Way to
His
spoil
boss
it,
would
buddy.
think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical
I think I've done
sense.
this one too. Ow.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For
It's like a
example,
PT trailer
why couldn't he
freaking
see his feet when he looked down?
repeating.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Nude women.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh God.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so
The
much
fuck?
fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their
I
dreams,
love this kind of
the truth
writing.
was that, of course,
Just
this
love
was
it.
not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently,
No.
and he invited himself to wake up.
No.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh
But on
shit.
this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring
Wow.
down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wow. That's messed up. Alright guys, hang on. I have to use the bathroom real quick, so give me a second. Alright, I'm back. This part of the stream, what you talking about, man? The waiting? How was waiting the best part? Hey, May. What's going on?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Not sure which way to take this time, though.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sorry.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Already did the broom closet thing. Already went down there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I think I'm gonna speak into the pad this time. I've never done that before. Whoa. Okay. Maybe it's because I didn't speak into the pad last time that this is new.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
What was
And
the
so
numbers?
The boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Got any set of numbers you want me to try, guys? I can think of one, but... hang on. Let's look around.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 845.
Alright.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
This game, man. Installation. Anything back here? It's dark. No.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Come on. Come on. Yep.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Don't care.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yep. This is a story of Stanley. Wait for it. Oh shit.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from
Come
a
on.
blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end.
There's a
to
freaking
his
platform
brief
right
and
there.
shallow life.
Please tell me it's gonna drop.
Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. No, that's not creepy at all.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I've gotten this here
When
before.
every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Two doors. The office. Damn. Buttons. There's like a museum of all the crap in the game. What? Cool. Let's see, we got that one. We got a different one too before. It's odd. How did I get there? Alright, fuck it. I'm just gonna take the exit. Let's see what happens.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Well,
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
this game though. It's not letting me do anything. Don't tell me I got shut off the fucking program. Yep. Alright. Whoa, what?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Do what? Wait, what does that mug say? I like work. That's probably a thing I didn't do right. Great.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness.
Yeah, I heard that.
Then the feeling, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, come on.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Damn.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Jackass. No, it was the left.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to...
Fuck.
Oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish.
Where's
now.
427?
The whole story completely unusable.
Oh, damn.
How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah, damn. This game's fucked up. Yeah, you have no... I mean... Obviously you do have a clue, but...
When
what?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Can't go through this one, damn it. Well, this one's dark, so... Ooh. Please don't tell me it leads to
I'll
the
say
garage.
it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Damn, that one's off again. Oh, come on.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Got no choice. Missed that. Alright, Ooter. I'll see you, man.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
What the fuck?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Wow.
Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Well, that's new. That's really new. That door's never been opened before. There's no way I'm following him.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Damn.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, Now, if
Not
my
necessarily.
experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
Not at all.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
That's really loud.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Why? No. Yeah, why not?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You
Okay.
won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Okay, so that's where we turned in the beginning. Anything do? Nope. Oh, come on.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
The one employee was fired.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Guess I don't have a choice.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story.
Of
Could be anything.
course.
What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Now that's trippy. Physics. I guess you are supposed to just keep going in a circle. There we go.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley,
How the-
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Doo-doo. No, God.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Damn. confusing ending.
Oh,
Great.
what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination.
All right,
so
see.
I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
What the hell? That was annoying.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
He
it
forgot.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No one's not on again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, that's new. Okay. Ooh, this is also new. Wow. Come on. Yes. Can you guys hear the narrator? I should have just... What? No. It's probably gonna go on forever. Love the music. Yeah. Damn.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud.
2, 4, 8.
He began wildly
6.
tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. but his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number.
2846.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, wait, shit. Wrong button.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Been here. I guess I'll go to the mind control one this time.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Man, my eyes.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
See, that's where we were.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Now, I know there's an Easter egg here somehow. I just don't remember how to activate it.
Now the monitors jumped to
Damn.
life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Hang on. I think he got us somehow. Nope, missed
This
it.
mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Still locked. There's somehow a way to do it. I just don't know it.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Whoa, what? Well, that's just trippy. Got 4 is up there, so I want to do them in order. Nothing. Pretty sure that's how you activate it. Something weird like that.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Nope.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode,
Of course they are.
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind.
Nope.
What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
I'm not turning it off.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock.
Oh, come on.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones.
Really
Or
wants
maybe
me to
this
hit
big
it.
red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds
already.
you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life?
Why would it start rumbling
Or
if a
go
bomb's gonna go
peacefully?
off eventually?
Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
face is itchy. You gotta be kidding me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't know what else to do, guys. Running out of options.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom again? Yeah. Same shit.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul
2846 or is it
Could he
24?
really be
I
all
can't remember.
alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a
What is
man
it?
denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845.
Oh,
Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Deja vu. What time is it? It's getting late. 4:30. Yeah, I only got like 20 more minutes, guys.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his
Alright, Buzz.
emotions had been manipulated
Take it
to
easy, man.
accept it blindly?
Thanks for stopping by.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
I'm actually going to turn
he
it off.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Is that it?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
What the hell
Stanley
kind of door is
stepped
this?
through the open door. Stanley felt the cool
I got no
breeze
control.
upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I guess that's the correct ending or something. You've got to be kidding me. I don't know what else to do, guys.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I just remember
Stanley
we
felt
didn't do one of
lightheaded,
the endings.
butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's still funny.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please,
I
stop
did
trying to
already.
make
Oh,
every
jump?
decision
Actually,
by
no, I didn't do
yourself.
that.
I'm not asking for me, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
I remember that one.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yeah, I forgot about that ending. Oh, shit. Alright, good call, man. I don't remember this at all.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, okay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
Whoa.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
No, I have done it in the
Look,
past.
Stanley,
If you
I
keep
think perhaps we've
jumping,
gotten off on
nothing
the wrong
changes.
foot here. I'm not your enemy.
I just remembered.
Really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Well, I unplugged it last time, so fuck it. Really?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
I can't move.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Fuck that.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Fuck this game. Come on.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No. Trying to press every other key I can. Alright, fuck it.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I don't want to watch TV. Is there even a TV in here?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Oh, that's a 0.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
didn't touch nothing. God. What?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
I didn't even mean to hit that.
Decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Alright, that was a fuck up.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, this is new. Or not.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I know we're not out of stories, but I don't know what else to do.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean, he wondered.
2845?
Desperate for answers, he began turning the room over, looking for... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Was not expecting that at all.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Nope.
that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was
There's gotta
that
be
at the end
something
of
I
this
missed.
hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Woohoo!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that
That's a really cool
Stanley
way
was
of putting in the
already
credits,
dead
I think.
from the moment he hit start?
Come to think of it, for such an awesome game, look how little the design team was. I mean, shoot. Like what, 30 people max?
Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Now then, here, I'm just going to make this easy. Right back on track to where when Stanley came to the story, he traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice. Stanley motion number 6. See, Stanley walked through the green door.
There we go. No. Alright. It's getting late, guys. I gotta go. Let's try to end this real quick. Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, that's a countdown. Okay, never mind.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
That sounded new.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
Alright. So, that's all the endings I know how to do. There's probably some more secret ones out there that I'm not aware of, but that's pretty much the whole game for you. Uh, yeah. I gotta go, guys. It's my brother's birthday, so gonna be heading out of here real soon. So thanks for stopping by, and, you know, it was fun. See you next time.